And welcome back to Ask the Experts here on Newstalk 1290 CJBK on this Saturday afternoon with my longtime friend Joan Ball, who I've always thought, how can she put any more on her plate? She's one of the busiest people I know out there. But as we welcome Joan to the program, we also congratulate Joan Ball being elected to another 2 years on the board of directors with LSTAR, the London St. Thomas Association of Realtors. Joan, I could never keep up with somebody like you.
Well, you know what they say. If you want something done, give it to a busy woman.
Yes, no kidding. Oh, my gosh. So congratulations.
Thank you.
What
Thank you.
leads you, just if you don't mind me asking, to want to help out and be on the board of directors with LSTAR? What's your driving force there, Joan?
So I think a lot of people fail to realize that realtors are very, very involved with their community, and also it takes a lot to organize and to keep the wheels going as far as the real estate industry and the oversight and just the management of the membership and all the services that go along for the membership through the London and St. Thomas Association of Realtors. So there's a lot of internal work, the Education Committee, Professional Standards Committee, which keeps them on the straight and narrow, the Discipline Committee, nominations. We have a lot of fundraisers that we are involved in. There are a ton of different sort of ad hoc committees or stand-alone committees that report back to the directors, and that I'm part of that. I'm part of the Professional Standards Committee. I'm on the Nominations Committee. I've been on many committees through the years, and it really is helpful for me to not just recognize where are those gap areas, where are those areas we need to help membership, but a lot of individuals and realtors have done this over the years, and so I really see it as my responsibility to give back, and obviously I'm, being the age I am, I'm at the sort of the latter part of my career, so I really think that that's one way that I enjoy giving back and having a say at the table on behalf of the membership.
Well, that's amazing, and I know you've sort of, what would you say, you've grasped and enjoyed the role of being a mentor because of your experience to a lot of the realtors out there, and you're all about educating people, but also people within your industry. So yeah, pretty amazing what you do. And it's not a small association either, is it? I mean, this is a big association, LSTAR.
Absolutely. We have over 2,200 members.
Wow.
And, and that we are sort of that Middlesex, Elgin County primarily, and there's a lot that comes into play with keeping up on how we can best serve the community individuals, our clients, our customers and clients, and our membership as well. So it's a big role.
Awesome. Joan Ball with us here on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290 CJBK. And Joan, of course, from Royal LePage, Triland Realty. You can reach Joan at 519-672-9880. That's 519-672-9880. Visit the website. Lots of great information, joanball.com, including any of the listings that Joan may have. So keep your eye on that. Again, joanball.com. And Joan, how about we do a little bit of a recap? We haven't talked in a couple of weeks, and give us the overview as to how the market is out there.
Well, I wish I could give you a huge, like we did a year ago, wow, the market's on a trend, but that was not necessarily fair to buyers. So This market is much more favoring, I wouldn't say it's favoring buyers, I would just say that it's a balanced market. And certainly I'm seeing properties on the market longer than they have been in the past. The sort of reality check is that we just came out of an October that when we calculate the number of sales, we are lower than we have been in the last 10 years. So we came out of October with 355 sales, which is certainly significantly lower than we have been, and we are riding really low on year to date. We're certainly not the number of sales that I might have estimated. 2021, we had 6,422 by this time of the year. This year, we had 4,582, so significantly lower. We are seeing the number of listings blip up. We've got a fair number of listings. We're riding right up there with some of the records as far as the number of listings on the market, and so that's really seeing a huge reaction. And in October of this year, we took on just over 1,000 new listings, and at the end of October, that's where we were at. Whereas last year, remember, we were so low. We had 299 listings a year ago at this time. So we are considered a balanced market. We are looking at approximately 3 months is average length of time on the market. And that, remember, that is only since it was last listed a property. So it may have been listed previously at a different price, so do know that's one of the things that you really have to sharpen your pencil when you're going onto the market. It's what I'm telling my clients is because, you certainly want to be realistic with your price and then get a response that's going to help you secure a sale, but also not leave any money on the table. So a very, very different market. I do think that the rest of this year will ride through in this way, and into 2023, I think estimates are we're going to go through a mild recession. Canada is in a great position, but by this spring, I think we'll start picking up again.
Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290, CJBK from Royal LePage, Triland Realty. Joan's phone number, 519-672-9880. JoanBall.com, the website address. Any insight, Joan, you say about the high number of homes on the market and slow movement out there. The reasoning why people at this time, and obviously with rising borrowing costs, are putting their homes on the market?
Well, I think initially when we came out of that frenzy, there were many sellers that thought, oh, darn, I really don't want to miss the market, right, and really should have, they wanted to capitalize on what was going on. And for some, it was a little late because we certainly saw and it really started in April, March, April, adjusting itself. We really saw the market start turning around, and as much as, your clients might want to, or your sellers might want to capitalize on that, we really started to see in April, we dropped off where in March we were 94% of offers were going for over list price by an average of $140,000. We saw that start to drop off in April to 89% went over by $108,000. Still great. Yeah. But then May 77%, June 63%, and July 36%. Right now we're at 24% of offers will go over list price by only $20,000. I mean, it's still a bit, but it's certainly not where we were back in March at 94% of offers going over list price. So a lot of people will do that, and they got onto the market and still trying to capitalize because we are up over a year ago. Okay. So we're certainly, our price is still up, but individuals who are retiring or considering retirement or wanting to capitalize, many individuals getting into the rental market, and then you saw buyers sort of back off with the rise in the interest rates and say, whoa, I think I need to reevaluate that because a year ago your money would go farther than it will now because of those interest rates.
Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290, CJBK, Royal LePage, Triland Realty. You can reach Joan at 519-672-9880, JoanBall.com, the website address. And speaking of Joan being all about educating people, you have an amazing event coming up on on the 16th, just around the corner, a few days away. Joan, tell us about it.
I do. I am, because the buyers are now, needing to regroup, and I think it's really important that you recognize as a buyer that there's a lot of information that you may or may not have on hand to be able to help you in the process. And so as much as I do see historically our interest rates are still good. They're still good interest rates. So getting into the market as a buyer, or even revisiting the market, or however you're framing your buying process, I am offering a free home buyer seminar. I'll have a mortgage broker on hand. I will have a home inspector on hand. There'll be some legal details that we'll be handing out so people are kept up to date on what's going on. And it's really helpful to then put in your sort of handbag of what to do and what not to do, and some of the things that people don't tell you, that you really should know. I will be offering a $500 rebate for buyers that buy in 23 through me, and it's a great way of just gathering enough information and getting them better prepared for a purchase in 2023.
Awesome. So that's November 16th, 7 to 9. Whereabouts, Joan?
It's going to be at the Royal LePage office on Waterloo, 240 Waterloo, and they can just reach out and contact me to register, because there is limited seating available.
And if people on site have questions for you, Joan, there'll be an avenue for that?
Absolutely, and I do have a home buyer guide package for everyone who's in attendance that will give them just a ton of information and help them feel better prepared for the process.
Awesome. You can reach out to Joan by calling 519-672-9880, joanball.com. The website, can they email you, Joan?
Yes, they can. Okay. Joan Ball at royallepage.ca.
Awesome. Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290. CJBK, our long-time real estate expert, for good reason, here on Ask the Experts. We'll be back with more on Newstalk 1290 right after these. And welcome back to Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290, CJBK with Joan Ball, our real estate expert from Royal LePage, Triland Realty, 519-672-9880, joanball.com, the website address. I want to ask you, Joan, because you're always able to help out in this area as well. Just talking to somebody a week or so ago that was trying to get a contractor out to the house to do some renovations, just general windows, doors, that type of thing. Had a few people out, didn't have the greatest of feel for just the information they were getting. Wasn't even necessarily the price, but just the timelines and everything else. And being understanding that it is kind of an issue getting products right now, and I know in that industry is no different. But just the tips that you give to people, homeowners, that is, when they're embarking on doing some renovations around the home, and how to go about finding the right fit, if we can call it that.
Yeah, and I think that this is really where the planning stage is so essential, in making sure you give yourself ample time. Most of the contractors in any area of trades are very busy right now, and are finding that they're not able to just come in next week and do the work. And if you're ordering anything in regard to supplies, there are limits depending on what product you're looking to. I always say interview at least 3. Go to your friends and family and colleagues and coworkers to see if they might recommend anyone. Your realtor should have some that they know, and we do sort of hear who's the bidder and who's the better, and find out who might best suit your needs. But really be very front-end loaded on this process and do your due diligence. Check the references. Make sure that you have the conversation with more than one, and then recognize that this is not an immediate turnaround in many of the trades and many of the contractors, that they are quite busy right now and backed up.
Right. And are you open to somebody calling you, Joan, if they've got a question about some of the more reputable people out there? Would you be able to assist in that way?
Absolutely. absolutely.
Yeah.
This is an ongoing service I offer my clients.
Awesome. Joan Ball on Ask the Experts here on Newstalk 1290. CJBK, a couple of questions. Let's get them out of the mailbag here if we can. Joan Louise has a question. With the market changing so much in the past year, what are the takeaways for those who are trying to sell now?
Well, I think that I would be very front-end loaded. I think you need to make sure that if you're looking at selling your property, that you're preparing the property, you're purging all you can. You may need interior painting. It's getting a little late in the season to do some exterior painting, but if you did it today, it might be,
Yep.
or maybe not today because we might be expecting some snow. But
we've had some good weather
early enough and get it. So I think that you need to attend to the presentation of the property, and then from there, really look at your fine-tuning your price. Make sure that you really study the comparables and the recent comparables, because as we get into the market, we're seeing there is an adjustment of somewhat. If you're buying, then really the information, and obviously I would direct them to the home buyer seminar on the 16th.
Absolutely, and you can get your name in. Go to the website, joanball.com, and you can email Joan or give her a call at 519-672-9880. I'm going to go to Don and Brenda because it looks like they maybe also are looking to put their home on the market. They wonder, with home inspections now becoming more popular when submitting an offer on a property, are we best to get one prior to listing our home?
This is the million-dollar question, in that if you did a home inspection, would your buyer actually feel that that was done for you,
right,
so it may not represent their queries and interest? It does, however, give you a better sense of those areas that you might want to attend to. Is there something that you're missing, or is there some outlets that are wired backwards, or is there something that you could fix up, or just attend to, as I indicated, just so that the buyers that come through your property are a little bit more comforted that this house was well maintained and you did everything you could. It does give an overview of the envelope and the mechanics and all of that stuff. Some buyers may be very satisfied with that. And in this market, I do think you need to cross your T's and dot your I's. That's one of the changes I am seeing, is that you do need to do things to help your buyer move forward a little bit more than we did a year ago. So I might, in fact, recommend it. Not everybody wants to do that, and not everybody wants to attend to all the details, but I do think in this market you need to satisfy your buyers as much as possible.
That makes sense. And now, Joan, if the seller were to get a home inspection, the potential buyers are well within their rights to also get one?
Absolutely. And I am starting to see home inspection conditions in offers at this point, as well as financing conditions, which, we hadn't seen for many years because of the competitive market. But now, with standalone offers on any one property, I am certainly seeing those come forth.
Joan Ball on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290, CJBK from LePage, Triland Realty. You can reach Joan at 519-672-9880, joanball.com, the website address. And have you seen situations, Joan, where both the seller and the buyer have gotten home inspections?
Yeah, I have. Okay. I have. If the home inspection is a little older, okay, they may want to have it, or they didn't attend to some of the things that might be in the home inspection report. They just want to get a better idea of how severe it is. In some cases, what I have done is indicated the permission of the seller to approach the home inspector who did the report. So then it's a little bit more knowledgeable based, so that home inspector knows the property, remembers the property, and can better fully address it. So it may be a little less expensive for the buyer, but certainly address the areas of concern that they might want to have some input in regard to.
Good stuff. Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290 CJBK. From Royal LePage, Triland Realty, 519-672-9880, joanball.com, the website address. Back with more here on Ask the Experts. We'll recap as well the upcoming free home buyer seminar put on by Joan Ball here on Newstalk 1290 CJBK coming up. And welcome back to Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290, CJBK, our real estate expert, Joan Ball, and once again elected to another 2 years on the board of directors with L-Star. And did you say earlier on, Joan, over 2,200 realtors?
Yes,
wow.
yes. We have grown significantly, and through the pandemic had many individuals come onto the board, although, you know, we used to drift around 1,800, 1,600, 1,800, but we have a relatively large membership, and we really are sort of that flagship board that is rather forward-thinking and innovative in many ways. So I'm very proud to hold that position.
Good stuff. Before we talk about the home buyer seminar once again, I do want to ask, it seems like a simple question, very quick and to the point, from Sandy, would like to know, is it a good time to buy? What's your answer there, Joan? I do think that right now there are some real opportunities out there. I think the interest rates as they are, a conversation with a mortgage specialist is really important, and one of the things we'll talk about at the home buyer seminar is it best to lock in for 5 years, or would variable rate work better? Because if interest rates start to blip down next year somewhat, we kind of want to know which way is the best way to go, and yet they might go up again. So I think it's really important for buyers to get all the information, but I do think there are some significant opportunities out there. Good stuff. And Joan is hosting an upcoming free home buyer seminar November the 16th. You can get your name in now by giving Joan a call at 519-672-9880, or you can also email Joan. Go to the website. What's the email again, Joan? It's joanball@royallepage.ca. Excellent. I should have that written down. I do now. And you can email and call Joan if you'd like to get in on it. Who's it sort of directed towards, Joan? Is it buyers, sellers, somebody who's maybe thinking in the next little while they're going to be getting into the market? Yeah, anyone who's considering a purchase in the next year really will benefit from this. There's a ton of information, not just for first-time home buyers. There may be somebody who's been in their house for many years and they haven't been part of this process for so long. They want to get up to date on what's going on in the market. And a home buyer's booklet you described earlier? Yes, I do have a home buyer guide that will be going to every participant. And there will be a mortgage specialist there as well as a home inspector. That is awesome. And people will get a $500 rebate if they are at the show, if they're purchasing a home with That's right. Joan? Everybody will be offered a $500 rebate for a purchase in 23 through me. Awesome. So that's November the 16th from 7 until 9, and it's at the Royal LePage offices, 240 Waterloo. And you can email Joan to get on the list, joanball@royallepage.ca. You can give Joan a call at 519-672-9880. The website, so informative, joanball.com. And it's always informative to have Joan on the program. We do it every other week here on Ask the Experts. Joan, once again, out of the park. You were, as always. Congratulations again on being elected to the board of directors with L-Star. And I don't know how you fit it all in. Thanks, Ryan. It's what I love. Awesome. Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290 CJBK.